There you go. See you later, buddy. We're off to pick up Caleb's buddy. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You want to pay your last respects?
Sure. See you later, hamburger. You will not be missed.
He's taking up too much room. He didn't fit in our boxes.
I'm tired.
I'm glad we brought the van.
I know.
I'm glad we brought the van and not the truck.
Do you have to go in there and sign it?
Alright, so far in this box here we went all boneless on this order. We have 8 Delmonico, 2 brisket, 3 chuck roasts, 15 cube steak. We got a total of 72 2-pound hamburger. We got a beef heart. We got beef tongue. Okay, let's move on to our fillets. We have 10 fillets. We have 14 New York strips. And we have 7 sirloin steaks. I don't know if the camera's doing that sunset justice or not. Let's talk total cost. Remember, this is my region in January 2021 prices. Okay, to slaughter and clean the beef was $60. The processing of the beef was 55 cents per hanging weight. Okay, we had a hanging weight of 716 pounds. That came out to $393.80 plus the 60 comes to a total of $453.80. There it is, packed completely full. Everything in this freezer was either raised, butchered, hunted, or fished for by our family. It's in here now. None of it is store-bought. We take a lot of pride in that. So that brings me to my next point. If possible, I think that homesteaders should take up hunting. And hunters, if possible, should raise some sort of livestock because it brings a whole nother appreciation to what you're doing. That calf was 20 months old, but it feels like he's been here for a decade. And to think that for $25 you can pay for a license, go out, shoot a deer that's 2, 3, 4 years old, that you didn't have to wait for it to mature, you didn't have to make sure it had running water, you didn't have to make sure that you were hauling hay every couple of days, you didn't have to fix fence, you didn't have to be kicked by it, you didn't have to worry about it bothering the other calves. But anyways, I had posted some pictures on Facebook that gained a little bit of traction to a homesteading group, and there was a lot of questions. So I'm going to try to answer those questions to the best of my ability. Again, I am not a full-time homesteader and I am not a professional farmer. This is just my experience. All the facts, figures, and statistics that I'm about to give you are talking about a grass-fed, grass-finished Angus steer that was banned 24 hours after birth. Why did we do it that way? Is it because we think that's the best way to raise them? No. It's because that's what was easiest for my brother and I. He works full-time, I work full-time. When an Angus calf is born, if you can get to them within the first day, they're very easy to handle. Day one, when they drop, if we are going to sell them, we'll keep them intact, and if we're going to keep them for a steer, we'll band them. They're easy to handle right after they're born. About 48 hours after that, it is hard to catch an Angus calf. They get up and they get moving pretty quick. But if you can get them on the first day, make sure that you can count to 2. Grab them, make sure that you have... Get a hold of that steer, make sure that you can count both testicles, both of them. Make sure that you have 2. Count to 2, put the band on. Even after you remove the band, again, check and make sure that you got both of them, ear tag, and that's how we like to take care of ours. We don't have the equipment, and we don't have the know-how, we don't have the chutes that we could band them at a later time, 250 pounds, or cut them at 500 pounds. We just don't have that ability, so that's why we band them as soon as they hit the ground. Grass finished. Why did we grass finish them? Again, that has to go back to the ease. To get that steer into the barn and to make sure that he's fed every day for months at a time would just be impossible for us. So he just free ranges, grazes around. He's got 100 acres to walk on. He has plenty of hay. We don't touch him until he loads up, until we load him up, take him out in the trailer, drop him off, and then have him butchered. Why did we pay someone else to butcher him? Again, this sounds redundant, but we're going back to the same reason, because I just don't have the time or the equipment. I'm no stranger to the butchering process. I've done several rounds of chickens, done domesticated and wild turkeys, rabbits, squirrels. I've done easily 50 plus deer. I just don't feel like I could do it properly, that I can't do it justice. Now, luckily, I have the means to pay someone else to do that job for me. Could I have done it as good as he did? No way. I was looking down through here, and some people were asking me, and some people were telling me some ridiculous prices that they pay to have these, to get a steer butchered. $2,400 in Northern California. Granted, I'm sure that they didn't raise the steer, but still. So someone brought up the fact that if you have your animals butchered somewhere, that you have a high probability of getting other animals mixed in with yours. That was not the case here. These guys had just opened up. They have a very clean facility, lots of windows. You can look in, watch them work. Very trustworthy, hardworking people. You pay by hanging weight. Do I have any proof that they did not mix in the beef with someone else's beef? No, I don't have that proof. It's just something that doesn't happen around here. A lot of places, when you take in a deer that you shot and you took care of, that's the deer that you get back. They don't get thrown in a great big carcass pile somewhere and you get back a mix of some guy that might have shot a deer and drove around with 2 weeks with it in the back of his truck, got shot and all this mess. No, you get what you hand in, and it's the same thing. It's just unheard of around here. So let's talk about weights. I had a bunch of questions about weights. 20 months old. Like I said, the butchers around here were super booked up. I tried to get him in at 18 months. It just didn't happen. The earliest I could get him in was 20 months. 20 months, he was banned the first 24 hours, and he was grass-fed the whole way through. His hanging weight was 216 pounds. I'm going to give you the statistics based on grass-fed beef, okay? So there's live weight, hanging weight, and then off the bone, which you actually take home. So of your live weight, you're talking about 60% of that, approximately, that you'll get hanging weight, and of that hanging weight, about 60% you'll get back off the bone. So the only weight that I have is the hanging weight, 716 pounds. So everything else is just approximate numbers. That means that on the hoof, live animal, he weighed about 1,200 pounds. That means that we took home roughly 430 pounds of meat. Of the meat that we took home, about 280 of it was burger and about 150 pounds in steaks. So, just to put that in perspective, let's do some math. So he's going to be at least $85.15, at least. And that's running about $4.14 a pound at our local Walmart. So 280 pounds times $4.14. Now he could even be leaner. Whew. So that is in ground beef alone. So my brother and I split this steer. So what you saw in the video was only half of what we got back. And that's all I could fit. That packed my freezer completely full. I wouldn't want any more than that. If you have the means to store more than that, then sure. But the only other things that I had in that freezer were 2 turkeys, a half dozen whole chickens, some salmon that I caught up in New York, a bunch of deer dogs and snacking sticks, and then probably a couple of roasts off 3 or 4 different deer. The rest of that freezer was packed full of half beef. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but Mountain, Maryland is getting pounded with snow right now. We're supposed to get something like 8 to 14 inches. So I got to go shovel a bunch of people out and do some sled riding with my kids. But I don't care how much it snows. We are going to fire up the pit boss, and we are going to have some burgers tonight from that steer. I will see you guys at dinner time. Hey.
It's nice and juicy.
How's he taste?
It's so good. So unbelievably good. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications for whenever we upload.